Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday morning. Hope yours is going well. We've got another Seahawks video to get to today, but first, we just hit 4,150 subscribers to the channel. I want to give a shout out to all the subscribers, and special tip of the cap goes to the channel members, especially elite channel members. Brandon McKell, Hasher for MVP, Salacious Crumb, Rye Guy, Brendan Nelson's Haircut, VGK Tigers, It's Hoof, The Reno, TVO, Austin Roberts, Scott Todd, PH Glass, Aaron Garrett, Arfman, 12th Man, Eli Bennett, Cassio Feria, Samoan, Jojo, and new Elite Channel member, Rep the 206. Quick housekeeping notice before we continue on in this video. We have now reached 20 Elite Channel members. So very soon, I will no longer be doing verbal shoutouts to Elite Channel members in the video intros. I'm going to be pursuing an alternative way to give credit to my members going forward. So watch for that in the coming days. But for now, those are your 20 Elite Channel members. All right, we're continuing on with the series that I started yesterday morning, taking a look at 7 key important players to watch in 2021 for the Seahawks, not just for the success of this team, but also to kind of evaluate the success of this front office in making their gambles, their risks. The guys who they took, the guys who they signed, the guys who they traded for, the guys who they acquired, who the jury is still out on, right? Again, not the DK Metcalfs, who is already unimpeachably good, not the Rashad Pennies, who is already unimpeachably bad. These are the guys who are going to determine their worth in large part based on what they give us in 2021. So today is our second player, the 6th most important player in my estimation on this series, and it is a second-year linebacker who we drafted in the first round last year to a lot of controversy and contention. I'm talking about Jordyn Brooks. Okay. Let's familiarize ourselves with Jordyn Brooks a little bit. Like I said, last year was his rookie year, and he played okay. Played in 14 games. He played basically a full season. The thing with Jordyn Brooks is that he just didn't get the opportunity to get on the field the way that you would expect a first-round linebacker to be. Usually when you draft a linebacker in the first round, if you take a look around the NFL, you're going to largely see guys who started day one. Jordyn Brooks was not that. Jordyn Brooks was a reserve linebacker to start the season, and when Bruce Irvin went down, he became the will in base defense, more or less. So you can see he only started 6 games, and he played somewhere around 370 snaps. So not even half of a full season. Honestly, not even 40% of a full season, closer to 30 to 35% of a full season's worth of snaps. 57 tackles, 35 solo, 2 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflections, 3 missed tackles. I guess that's pretty good. 1 QB pressure. Gave up a little bit in coverage, but not a ton. It was okay. Okay, so this first year for Jordyn Brooks, it was definitely something where you needed to watch him play to see him flash potential, because the stats are not indicating anything special here. And if you go to Pro Football Focus, they weren't too high on his 2020 season either. They gave him a PFF grade of 47.6. That's bad. That's you barely belong in the NFL bad. Now, he's a rookie. He's going to get better. I'm not here to say, oh, Jordyn Brooks sucks because PFF told me he does based off 370 snaps his rookie year. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to play that game. But the bottom line is that Jordyn Brooks' performance in his rookie year was not very good. And more than that, I don't think it really swung the needle for this team. And if you take a look at the 2020 draft around where we took Jordyn Brooks, you can get some idea of the players that we could have taken instead, some of the players we missed out on. The number one guy that everyone kind of associates with this draft pick is Patrick Queen, because he went 1 pick later. And everyone was like, if you're going to take a linebacker, why not take the dude who played at LSU and not Texas Tech? Now, Patrick Queen, I don't know. I don't know. Like, if you go to his stats page, the numbers are nice. 106 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 10 QB hits, 3 sacks. He had 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, a pick, 2 pass deflections. His pressure numbers were pretty good. He had 13 QB pressures on the season, solid. Played 858 snaps. So the numbers are nice, but I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. This is comedy. Somehow Patrick Queen starts and puts up big numbers on a good Baltimore Ravens defense, and I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. But there are other guys you could talk about too, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, T. Higgins, DeAndre Swift, Xavier McKinney, maybe Michael Pittman Jr., Gross Matos I still like. So there are definitely guys that we could have drafted instead of Brooks who maybe would have been better. But let's talk about what Jordyn Brooks needs to do in 2021 to start proving himself worthy of being drafted in the first round. Okay, so here's the thing about linebackers who are good, especially linebackers who are good who get drafted early in the draft. They're good pretty quickly. And I'm going to present some examples in this video of what I'm talking about. But you could apply this example to a lot of players in recent years who were drafted as linebackers and have gone on to have successful careers so far. Most of them are good very quickly, and a lot of them are good immediately. One example would be Tremaine Edmunds. He was a first-round pick, a middle first-round pick in 2018, and he's become one of the most successful linebackers in the league. He's made the Pro Bowl twice, and if you take a look, his rookie year, played in 15 games, 121 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 7 hits on the quarterback, 2 sacks, 12 pass breakups, 2 picks. His pressure numbers are pretty nice, 11 QB pressures. He had a lot of missed tackles, okay? I'm not saying it was perfect, but he had a big impact on games for that Buffalo defense in 2018. PFF grade, pretty good, 57. I'm not going to act like this is the greatest thing ever. I'm not going to act like this is head and shoulders better than what Jordyn Brooks gave us last year or anything, but he clearly had a big impact on that team in 2018. And you just see him come right out of the gate and start having a big impact on his defense. Okay, let's do another one. Leighton Vander Esch. This guy was drafted by the Cowboys, 19th overall, so just a few picks after Tremaine Edmunds. Leighton Vander Esch. What did he do as a rookie? Played in all 16 games, started 11, 140 tackles, made the Pro Bowl, 2 tackles for loss, 7 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. Not a tremendous pass rusher or anything, but his impact on the Cowboys defense in 2018 was undeniable, and as he ramped up, that Cowboys defense became an elite defense in the second half of that season. So Leighton Vander Esch's positive impact on the Cowboys defense, in spite of some not so great statistical numbers, his metrics and coverage are not great. In fact, they're pretty lackluster, but he had a fat impact on that Cowboys defense, and the PFF grade backs that up in spades. Check this out, 84.4. That marks him as an elite linebacker. So he was good the moment he hit an NFL field, really. And this is kind of what I'm trying to say about Jordyn Brooks, okay? If you take a look at other players at his position who are drafted around the bottom part of the first round or the early part of the second round, the guys who are good pretty much immediately. In the case of Edmunds and Vander Esch, they were good as rookies. Now, this next guy was not good until his second year, but the point still stands. Or, forgive me, he wasn't a big-time player for the Titans defense until his second year, Rashaan Evans. At first year, he didn't play as much. He actually had a year very similar to what Jordyn Brooks did. He had 15 games played, 7 started, 53 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Actually, you know, it's almost the spitting image of what Jordyn Brooks gave us last year. He was okay in coverage. He got a few QB pressures. He only had 6 missed tackles. Decent stuff here. His PFF grade for 2018, 65.5. But if you take a look at what he did in the next year, 2019, his second year, he had a full year of starting. 111 tackles, 9 tackles for loss. Started to get to the quarterback. He had 8 quarterback hits. If you take a look at his pressure numbers, they were 7 QB, excuse me, 7 QB pressures. So, yeah, the dude was legitimately a stud linebacker by 2019, his second year. All right, let's take a look at one more guy, and this is the big kahuna right here, Darius Leonard of the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, this guy was a early second round pick in 2018, and the moment his cleats touched the NFL football field, he was elite. He made All Pro as a rookie. 163 tackles, 12 for a loss, 8 hits on the quarterback, 7 sacks, 8 pass deflections, 4 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. Absolute monster on the field. If you go look at his pressure numbers, 9 quarterback pressures, very good for a 4-3 outside linebacker for the most part. Not somebody you would expect to get, dozens and dozens of them, so pretty good. His coverage numbers, okay, he had stuff to work on in coverage. His coverage numbers are not great. He got picked on a little bit, as most rookies do. I understand that, but Darius Leonard as a rookie in 2018 put his foot down. He had a monster season for the Colts, and PFF again backs it up. 81.6. One of the elite outside linebackers in the NFL. So I could go on with more and more examples, but I'm not going to. The point is, it's not that hard for a good linebacker to quickly adjust to life in the NFL and start making a positive impact on his team. So Jordyn Brooks, last year, there was some stuff working against him. He did have an injury that kept him out like 2 games. He didn't get on the field that much because we still had Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright, so there were limited snaps for him to eat up. There was some stuff going on. I think we all as fans can understand that. But this year, there can be no excuse. Even if somehow we signed KJ Wright back, there would still be no excuse. It's on Jordyn Brooks to be better than KJ Wright in the offseason and the preseason, so he starts over KJ Wright. So, look, this is something that applies to my video on LJ Collier yesterday, and it applies even more so, I think, for Jordyn Brooks. As a player, most of your value is derived from what you do on your rookie contract, because that's when you're giving your team a massive bargain. Okay? Russell Wilson has been a much better player on his second and third contract than he was on his first contract. But on that first contract, he was still a starting quality winning quarterback playing for peanuts. So the value he added to this team on a per dollar basis was much higher those first 3 years compared to what it is now, even though he's a much better player now. So players like Jordyn Brooks, who are entering the second year of what will be a 4-year or 5-year rookie deal, depending on what happens, this is the time when they can eat. This is the time when they can really add a lot of value to a team. Good production on a low amount of money. That's the key of a successful team. Getting big production out of guys on rookie deals. And I'm not willing to wait for Jordyn Brooks. Okay? The first year there was some stuff going on. Whatever. It's in the past. Can't do anything about it now. I still don't like that pick. I still hate the Jordyn Brooks pick. But look, it's been done. And I believe he can be a good player. But will he? I need to see him put up those 100-plus tackle stat lines now. I need to see him start making plays in the backfield. I need to see him flash something in coverage, maybe as a pass rusher. Whatever it is, I need to see him produce in terms of bulk stats like tackles, and I need to see him find a way to make plays as well. Because one thing that I really didn't like about the Jordyn Brooks pick is I believe that it's hard to have a big impact on football games from the outside linebacker spot in a 4-3. So Jordyn Brooks needs to find some way to have a big impact on games as an outside linebacker in a 4-3, because that's his position for 1 more year. So my expectations for Jordyn Brooks in 2021 are quite simply, I want to see triple-digit tackles, and I want to see him start to do something at a really high level. Like, for years, KJ Wright was the screen whisperer, right? Every time teams ran screens on us, KJ was there to eat it up and get tackles in the backfield. Or whatever it may be. If it's pass rushing, it's pass rushing. If it's coverage, it's coverage. but find a way to make a bigger impact on the game than just I jump on piles and get tackles. So I'm looking for Jordyn Brooks to have a triple-digit tackle season. And I'm looking for him to become a playmaker as well. And if he doesn't do both those things, then my at least current conclusion will be that was another bad draft pick, because you don't spend first-round picks on linebackers for them to just beat around the bush and take 3 years to develop. All right, so that's player number 2 in this series. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you expect from Jordyn Brooks this year? I've already told you what I expect from him. I expect very big things. We did not spend that draft capital on him to just be a guy. You got to be better than a guy. Honestly, to be perfectly honest, in my opinion, if Jordyn Brooks wants to live up to that draft status, he needs to have a better career in Seattle than KJ Wright did. And I know that sounds like it's asking for a lot, but I don't think it is. First round pick, live up to it. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Another video maybe later today.